Simply Quinoa, Alyssa, she is a plant-based recipe blogger and YouTuber, or she was. She's now eating lots of animal products again after eating mostly plant-based for 8 years. As always, I am not here to denigrate her or anyone else who is no longer eating vegan or plant-based, whatever. There is a very good chance many of the vegans out there watching this will not stay that way for long. For one thing, I think it's really hard to go against the grain for a long time, for years on end, without giving in to that social pressure. And for Simply Quinoa, she is pregnant as well, which adds a whole nother layer of pressure, right? From family members to doctors to fertility experts.
My OB, multiple acupuncturists, nutritionists that specialize in fertility. A common theme across the board from them was a recommendation to think about incorporating animal products into my diet from a nutrient perspective.
So many people urge pregnant women to eat animal products. And Alyssa had a miscarriage. I'm not sure if that came before or after incorporating more animal products into her diet, but I can imagine that being really worrisome. Giovanna, if you guys remember, I made a video about that. She had a miscarriage and then started going to fertility experts and started eating a lot more animal products. I keep saying plant-based because that is the term she uses. She does not describe herself as vegan. The video says plant-based. The description says mostly plant-based for 8 years. This video from about 6 years ago, she describes herself as mostly vegan or 95% vegan.
I don't eat meat, but I do have some animal-based products in my diet. I would say they're very sparse and very occasional, so that's why I like to say that I'm 95% vegan.
So she's always ate some amount of animal products, but going by the What I Ate Today she just posted, she eats way more now. It's not just an occasional thing, it's an everyday, multiple times a day thing. Collagen in her coffee, cow's milk yogurt, tuna, chicken nuggets, cheese. But again, I care, but I don't care. You know, it's not what I want to talk about. It's not surprising in any way, shape, or form. What I want to talk about is hair.
I didn't just take this advice blindly. I actually got a bunch of testing done, and there were gaps in my diet that were clear in test results, specifically in my hair tissue mineral analysis, which was like really looking at basically all of the minerals in my body and where those levels might be off.
Hair analysis is a thing for certain things, like drugs, many of us know. But minerals? Nutrition status? Jane E. Broding, writing for the New York Times way back in 1983, says it's unreliable for determining nutrient deficiencies. And since then, nothing has changed. Well, we have more quacks making money off of people like Alyssa who don't know any better, but the science has not changed. While you can detect minerals in hair, it's not clear what that means. A quantitative measurement from a hair sample does not represent a quantitative measurement of an ingested dose. Many authors have found hair concentrations vary in a dose-dependent manner. However, too many variables impart greater complexity to relate to blood concentrations. In other words, the amount of whatever essential mineral you're looking for in hair doesn't tell us about the amount in your blood, which is what we care about. And when the commercial offerings for these tests are tested, the results aren't great. Not only can measurements and recommendations vary from one service provider to the next, but even from the same provider from the same samples at different times. And this was not uncommon. In 2004, 3 cases were reported of children who, based on hair analysis, were diagnosed with heavy metal poisoning and offered chelation therapy. In each case, the child was taken to another doctor who obtained appropriate blood tests, which were normal, and concluded that no toxicity existed. She said she had blood work done too, which showed low levels. She doesn't specify, I don't know, low levels in what. Point is, there is no reason to do hair analysis to determine nutritional status, whether or not you are deficient in essential minerals. Should you encounter a practitioner who uses hair analysis for any of these purposes, run for the nearest exit and complain to your state attorney general. Interestingly, not alternative medicine practitioners promote hair analysis for this purpose, for determining nutritional status. Even Dr. Andrew Weil is against it and says, just get a blood test. You know a practice is bad when even the guy selling oracle cards says it lacks evidence. If I were in Alyssa's position, if I were worried about my health, about my nutritional status, I would not just take a hair analysis and go, oh, okay, guess I have to eat chicken now. I would want to know what the test is. Is there evidence for it? Is it accurate? Before I just assume it's meaningful and start exploiting animals several times a day. But I'm vegan or plant-based, whatever, for the animals, whereas it seems like Alyssa never was. And I don't mean that in a, oh, you gave up veganism, so you were never really vegan. I mean that it doesn't seem like she ate vegan or mostly plant-based for the animals, because she clearly didn't. She clearly did it for health. If you go to her About page, it's all about health. The reason she went gluten and dairy free was for her health, to clear up digestion issues she had had for years. Then she gave up red meat after watching Forks Over Knives, which is largely a health-based documentary.
I watched Cowspiracy, and that changed everything for me. I think it was the way that they delivered the message about the environmental impacts of the meat industry that really struck a chord with me, and I stopped eating fish and chicken.
She does say this about eating locally.
I'm always buying organic. I'm always buying locally sourced, especially products like honey and eggs, so that I know that the animals are treated fairly.
But yeah, it's clear health was the main driver behind eating plant-based. Whereas for me, eating a vegan diet just for health is like kind of pretty stupid. Yeah. I'm also highly critical of alternative medicine, whereas Alyssa describes herself as a certified holistic nutritionist. As of December 2022, no states require licensure for the specific title of holistic nutrition professional. Here in the US, anyone can call themselves a nutritionist, holistic or otherwise. Now, that doesn't mean the advice she offers isn't sound, but typically the people who are drawn to holistic nutrition labels are drawn to things like hair mineral analysis. Finally, to get kind of off topic, again, the impetus for this might be the miscarriage she had at 6 weeks. Just to be clear, this is incredibly common. It's actually a big problem with early pregnancy tests, as I talked about here, I think. Many of us would not have even known we were pregnant without these tests. The standard advice after one miscarriage is not change your diet, start eating more animal products. It's just try again. Continue to eat healthy, take your prenatal, and try again. Having multiple miscarriages is really unlikely. Now, others do disagree, and they are not all quacks. There is this book, It Starts with the Egg, by Rebecca Fett. Her position is maybe most, if not all, miscarriages are caused by bad eggs, and that this isn't all just random chance. There are some things we can do to improve our chances for good eggs. I've read the book, and while I think she jumps to far more solid conclusions than the evidence actually warrants, overall, I think it's not a bad read. And while she doesn't promote a vegan diet, her advice doesn't center around eating animal products either. Limit BPA exposure and take some supplements, a prenatal, vitamin D, and ubiquinol, the active form of CoQ10. She says little about diet other than eat plenty of protein and keep your blood sugar under control. While I would love to say, of course, Simply Quinoa isn't vegan or plant-based anymore, she was never in it for the animals, lots of people who were in it for the animals give up veganism. Wasn't it Bonnie Rebecca who said something like, I'll never give up veganism, I'll always be vegan? That said, I do think motivations matter, and it would not surprise me at all if people like myself have a better chance of staying vegan for longer than those who are in it for health or even the environment. And while I really don't like the you were never vegan type thing, as I said before, I do suspect that some of the popular former vegan YouTubers weren't really in it for the animals. They used that as like a, kind of selling point, another way to sell their channel, but really they were vegan because it kept them skinny. Point is, lots of legit vegans give it up. Look at Cosmic Skeptic I just talked about in the last video. By all accounts, he was not in it for health or the environment. The reason he went vegan was for the animals. And to end on a positive, you can still make a big difference without being 100% vegan or 95% vegan or whatever. Unfortunately, again, Alyssa is eating a lot of animal products just throughout the day, but even one meal made vegan makes a difference. So many of you left just wonderful comments on the Cosmic Skeptic video about me saying, hey, it's not all or nothing. You can eat some vegan and you're making a difference, and how helpful that was for you. Thank you so much. It was just so lovely to read those comments. And I'm not crying about it. Isn't that nice? I'm far enough away from pregnancy that my emotions are normalizing. I don't cry at the drop of a hat anymore. Although that last cabinet of curiosity, gosh darn it. Even partner was crying. That was definitely one of the best ones, if not the best one. Point is, thank you so much for those of you who left a comment, just taking the time to say that, and everyone else on any of my other videos who takes the time to say that my channel has helped you in any way. It's really nice. Thank you. And thank you so much to everyone for watching. Please like the video if you did and subscribed. It really helps me out. Helps out the channel, helps me make more videos. My videos take quite a long time to make. Even something like this that seems pretty simple, it took several hours just to do the notes, to watch the video, watch some of her other videos, and I don't want it to sound like, oh, poor me. I think people will be surprised how long YouTubers like myself spend on making videos. This was probably, by the time I'm done editing, I don't know, at least 10 hours. I would love to post like 5 videos a week. You guys probably wouldn't love it, but I would love to do that. But it's just not feasible. Point is, thank you so much for those of you who do subscribe. Of course, thank you so much to my patrons at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. I do post 2 exclusive videos there a month for $5 plus patrons, the second of which is a controversial topic. I will have that up for February in just a few days. Very exciting. Thank you again. New video soon. I think that's the perfect spot for him. It's hard to miss him, but he's not like here, you know, right behind my face where you have to look at him. Like you can't ignore him if you want. I don't know why you would. He's perfect.